That looks like a lot of rose hips over there. That would be lots of jam or rosehip tea you could make. Looks like rose hips. The camera will tell me, because it's too far away for me to see with the naked eye for sure. Are they rose hips? I'll have to blow it up on the screen. They look like rose hips. Yummy. Warm day today. You can see a bit of the heat haze, can't you? That looks like a briar rose, and it's covered in rose hips. Covered in rose hips. Is it Rosa rugosa? I don't think the parrots eat those. I don't think so. Look at them all. So much rosehip jam you can make out of that. Rosehip jelly. A rosehip syrup for babies. I should go over there, shouldn't I, and walk through all that snakiness to get there. Imagine. All that snakiness. You've got to admire them surviving in this heat. Imagine me walking through all that snakiness to get there. The bush tucker person in me can't resist coming for a look, but I've got to watch out for snakes. I've got long boots on, but I'm only wearing shorts. I'm just coming for a look. Well, it looks like the kangaroos have made a bit of a path anyway. I saw a huge snake the other day, very frightening. Oh, yes it is. They're rose hips, that's what they are. Wild briar rose hips. They're wonderful. Enough to make pots and pots of jam or rosehip tea, rosehip jelly, rosehip syrup for babies. They don't sell rosehip syrup in Australia anymore. Oh, isn't it wonderful? Just look at it. Isn't it gorgeous? All those delicious rose hips. Come on, camera, do your stuff. Look at them all. Zillions of rose hips. I can't remember if it's Rosa rugosa. It might be Rosa rugosa. It's considered a noxious weed, but well, they're not noxious to me, are they? Look. Gorgeous rose hips. I can't see what I'm filming in all this glare. Let's bring the camera a little bit closer. There we go, look. All lovely rose hips full of vitamin C. They've got little fibres in them, so you can't sort of eat them. But you can do a lot with them. You can dry them out. You don't have to make tea. You can just put them in a pot, some hot water anyway, and strain. If you want a nice cup of fresh rosehip tea, you can boil them into jelly. Again, you've got to strain all the little needles out of them. And just make them into rosehip syrup. Full of vitamin C. Yummy, hooray. Look at them all. Gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So radiant. Oops, nearly went A over T. Radiant with rose hips. Gorgeous, gorgeous rose hips. On what's this? The 5th day of autumn. Friday, the 5th day of autumn down under. Gorgeous rose hip harvest. I can come down here and get all these rose hips. Aren't they wonderful? Just absolutely glorious and gorgeous. Just gorgeous. Gorgeous rose hips. Abundance. Abundance. The only thing I'm worried about is the snake, but here's a selfie with me and some rose hips. Here I am, gorgeous rose hips. Where's my secateurs in my pocket? I should have brought a plastic bag as well, but I didn't. Nevertheless, I shall pick some. I usually call these briar roses. I'm not sure what the Latin is. Is it dog rose, Rosa canina or something? I'm not sure. I'd have to go online and find out, wouldn't I? Listen to that wind. They've got little thorns on the outside, but you wouldn't want to get them stuck in your throat just as they are, those little thorns on the outside of the berries. But when you cut them open, they're full of little sort of things that can get stuck in your throat. So you always want to strain them carefully. If you make some rosehip tea out of them, you want to strain the liquid carefully. If you make jam, you want to strain the liquid carefully. If you make baby syrup, you want to strain the liquid carefully. If you dry them out, I just got prickled. If you dry them out, you can, for putting in tea bags or something, you still want to strain them carefully. Let's cut one open. A bit rough, pair of secateurs. There we go. See those seeds inside? Focus, intelligent camera. Go on, focus, you stupid intelligent thing. See those seeds? They're covered in sort of fibres that can get caught in your throat. If you could be bothered peeling all the thorns away, you can eat that just as a little fruit on its own, full of vitamin C, very rich in vitamin C. But as they are, they're covered in little fibres that will get caught in your throat, very unpleasant, so you don't want to do that. Sort of fluffy sort of fibres, all very fluffy, and they can get caught in your throat, and it's very unpleasant. So you want to make sure you strain it if you make a cup of tea for yourself, because those seeds are covered in fibres, very nasty, and they're very unpleasant if they get stuck in your throat. You can see all that fluff will get stuck in your throat, all those fibres. Well, that's a lovely little piece of fruit if you can be bothered scraping it all clean, blasting it under the hose, blast it under the cold water tap. Now look, I've scraped all the seeds out. If I blast that under the hose, that's a nice little piece of fruit rich in vitamin C. If you blast it under the hose, under a lot of, give it a blast, hard blast to get rid of all those fibres. There we are. The main thing is to blast all those fibres away, because you don't want to be swallowing them. They're very tiny fibres, very unpleasant. Chomp, chomp. I'm getting a nice acidic, sweet, fruity taste now. Yummy. So let's just put some in some hot water for fun to see the colour come out. Oh, see what the colour comes out. It might take a while though. This water isn't boiling. It's just hot water out of the tap. Of course you've got to strain it before you drink it. Let's just see if some of the colour comes out now. It doesn't look like it's going to. It's a drill I can hear. I think they'd have to soak a while for the colour to come out and the flavour to come out. It is hot though. But anyway, as I say, you've got to strain carefully. You could clean all the seeds out first, of course, but always strain carefully if you're making jams or syrups or rosehip tea. And there are plenty of videos on YouTube where people make rosehip jelly and all those sorts of things. People far better skilled than I am. People with glamorous kitchens and who make all those videos about cooking. They'll show you how to make rosehip syrup, rosehip jelly, rosehip tea. Look, here's some horehound on the way back. That's horehound. That's horehound. You can make horehound beer out of that. That would be nice. So you never go hungry out this way if you can walk in the countryside and look at all the wild things. That's horehound. White horehound. That's what it is. So what you see is a gorgeous, beautiful bush here. So beautiful. Late summer, early autumn, afternoon sunlight in all its gorgeousness. Don't forget, always seek the advice of an expert bush tucker or foraging expert before eating any wild foods. Gather rose hips while ye may. Oh, look, Scotch thistle. We have Scotch thistle down under. I've been eating Scotch shortbread lately. That's the symbol on the Scotch thought bread, on the Scotch shortbread. That's the symbol. I've been eating the Scottish shortbread. Scotch finger biscuits, that's what I've been eating. I'm half Scottish anyway, as a matter of fact. The Scottish people brought all of this to Australia with them, didn't they? They did. Oh. There's the rose hips. And there, I just thought I'd show you for interest a bit of Australian iconography. A windmill, a windmill for bringing the water up. There's a great artesian basin under us, about 16 feet down, full of water. A lot of people around here have wells.